Hi, it's Anthony from OQplay.com, and today we're checking out a pair of new grips from BeswinVR. These are controller grips and knuckle straps specifically made for the Anker Charging Station for the Quest 2. However, they can be used without that, and they can be used as just general knuckle straps for your Quest 2 controllers if you don't like that extra bulk that goes around the controller grips. You might have seen them in my previous videos every now and then, as I've been reviewing them for a number of weeks now. They had me test the very early models that I think they were still selling at the time, and they did have some quality control issues, but they've released a new batch that I'm very comfortable in reviewing because they haven't broken on me at all yet. Some of the reviews on Amazon are backdated in around about February, and I've only just got these around about a month or two ago. So I do think that they've improved them. They've made them a lot more rigid and a lot more stronger, and they're very less prone to ripping. So they do two models specifically, one for the Quest 2 and the Reverb G2, and they also support the Quest, the original Quest controller as well. So we're going to look at that later on, but we're going to focus on the Quest 2 version. So let's just see what comes inside the packaging. So here's partly what you get inside the packaging. You get two sets each for the tabs that come in the packet, and these stick to the battery door. And then you get two of these foam pads. I've got one attached already to the left controller, and in a minute I'm going to tell you how to install the right controller. But just looking over the tabs, you get two sets of these types of transfers or stickers, and these stick on the inside very well into the battery door of the controller, and it can also go onto the battery door of the Anker controller as well. So this is what this is specifically made for, but you don't have to specifically use it with the Anker Charging Station controllers. You could just attach them to your own Quest 2 controllers and you'll get a nice bulk-free knuckle strap, and a very comfy one at that, because this is nicely padded. So they've changed the material recently. It was a kind of less dense ripstop nylon. It's a lot more rigid now, and it's a lot more quite well weaved. So originally this bit came off under quite a little amount of pressure. I think they weren't comfortable with that, so they made them a little bit more rigid in the material being used. And I've had them for a number of weeks now, and they haven't actually snapped on me, so unlike the first batch that did. So I'm quite comfortable in bringing these to you for review. So you get two of these each. So technically, if you had another strap, one of these, you could cater for two pairs of controllers, but it's nice to have these if either one of these do eventually snap on you. It's a metal buckle, so very well constructed, and this has been well stitched, so that buckle is not going to come off anytime soon. And then the actual grip itself is a mix of padded Velcro, and it's very similar to the Pro straps that I've reviewed and I do love on the controller, but they're a little bit costly from Pro2VR. So this actually is a little bit of an easier way to still get a similar knuckle strap with a similar type of comfort. It's stitched around the outside with BeswinVR branding, and this is the Velcro area that this will go around and latch onto. And this is also the kind of material that this Velcro part can attach onto. So you can either attach it here, or you can actually stick it back if you want a cleaner look back onto the strap, and it will stay attached to it. But just to show you the left version that you might have seen in my reviews recently. So this is it attached with the loop system at the top and attached at the bottom. And if you've got the Anker charger, you've kind of got these little contacts here, so this won't get in the way. As when you slide it onto the Anker charging station, these shouldn't get in the way. And I'll just flash up an image of that just to illustrate how it works with that charger's dock. Unfortunately, I don't have one, so I can't really show you that. But basically, this strap goes on perfectly nicely, and this just fits really nicely over the top of your hand to keep everything in place. And then this ain't going anywhere. And I can put a lot of pressure on that, and the bungee is giving more away than these straps do. So the bungee takes a lot of the pressure away from these straps, so they're very less prone to breaking. And the same here. But this can all be readjusted. There's loads of space. I think could have done probably half this amount of material, because you could come all the way over and it still attaches. You can attach it in a number of ways, but I found this to be the best. And I also found if you attach it a little bit further up the controller panel, that's an option as well, just to remove any strain that you might get underneath this buckle touching the skin. You can do something that I'll show you later to remove that ability. One thing I did notice though is that if you do throw the controller with these attached, that can happen. It stays on your hand and this controller can slightly either come loose. It probably shouldn't fly across the room, but you never know the scenario that you might be in. But you can see the stickers are well attached to the bottom and they haven't given way. They're very nicely glued on the transfer side of things. And that just basically attaches to the grip. So if you do find that's going to happen, their solution is you've got to bring this over the sensor ring and then reattach it. Then that's not going to go anywhere. That can happen, unfortunately, but that's me trying to do it really. That shouldn't really happen in reality. So that's their solution in to stop that from happening. There are better solutions out there from BeswinVR. But if you're after some similar padding like this and you do have the Anker Charging Dock and you want to have a knuckle strap that works with it, then right now this is the only solution that's probably out there for the Quest 2 right now. So let's just show you how to install the right controller. We need the original battery door. Right, so here's our original battery door. So basically we need to choose 2 of the different tabs. We can put the rest of them away. We don't need those. And basically the one with the hole in is the one that goes up the top, and the long one without the hole goes in the bottom. And make sure you get the right stickers for the right side labeled on the packet. So first things first, you need to remove the adhesive cover, and that reveals the sticky bit. And now you don't really, because it's quite sticky, you need to sort of do this perfectly the first time really. And basically this is the edge of the controller. So my tip for you, and they do illustrate this on their Amazon page of where these go. There's no manual, which is a bit weird, but there is an illustration on the Amazon page on how to apply these. And they kind of say to do it here, but what I find is if you rotate it slightly and have this part as high up as you can, that's going to give you better positioning of the strap overall. So put that as high as you can. Make sure it doesn't go in that section there because that's where the door closes, and make sure it's fully underneath this little latch here because that's how the door closes shut as well. So with that one in play at the top, that's all now secure. The next one is a little bit easier, but you got to make sure that this tab is flush to that edge there, otherwise the door might not shut properly. So we take the adhesive off and now we position this as tight as we can underneath this latch here. So that sort of top area sort of goes underneath, and then we push that firmly down and stick that in play. So you see here it's flush to the door, and then with these now fully inserted, we can now put that in the controller and it all closes relatively nicely. It's a little bit bulky here, but it does shut, at least at the top one. Now for the top one, we need to make sure that tab is further out like this, and then this tab is like that. And then basically we have the BeswinVR to the side that's facing outward. So it's like that basically. So this basically means for the right controller, this is the top end. So we pass that through the loop, and then we stick that down. So another tip is do this side first and get that as far up as possible and then attach it down. It's going to probably stick out the bottom, but see there, that cushioning is now blocking the buckle from hitting your hand, so you're not going to get any discomfort there. And this is further up the controller than what was originally positioned, so that moves it more away from this part of your hand. So with that attached, we can now put in the bottom one, and then basically you put your hand in just to make sure that you've got the right attachment. And then what I do, just to keep it nice and clean, is attach that back over the top of the existing lower strap, and that's it. You're good to go. And that's the right controller done. And we've got the left controller with the different mechanism of how you might want to strap it to your controller. I've personally not had any issue of these coming out from the controller. Yet I did have my niece use these controllers and it did happen for her. But it was kind of in the heat of the action. So I think it's when you're panicking or you're doing something with your hands, and then that will basically cause the straps to potentially come away with the battery door and leave the controller sliding forward a bit. So again, I've done the bit where it blocks the buckle underneath. So position the padding first at the top and then bring the other one over the top. And that's it. So that's the two controllers all nicely done. And I think they look pretty cool. Right, so I'm going to do the Quest 1 version. So if you don't have a Quest 1, you can skip this segment and we'll carry on with my impressions afterwards. So I'll see you in a bit. Right, if you're sticking with us and you've got a Quest 1, here's the pack that you get for the Quest 1. And we've got our Quest 1 controllers here. So let's have a look at what's inside. So same again, we've got the two very similar or basically identical knuckle strap pads. And then you've got the two pairs of adhesive straps that attach on the inside of the battery door. So let's have a look at the right controller. So here we have the same material used with the top part, and then we've got the lower part which actually reutilizes the bottom part of the wrist strap connector. So this is going to be pretty good to see and a really nice way of doing it. They could have done it with the Quest 2 to be fair, but they've chosen to do a sticker instead. So this is how we're going to attach the right controller. So we get our right controller, take the battery door off, and then again we're going to get this as close to the top side as we can while still maintaining all the various connecting points of the grip. So we'll take the adhesive part off, and then we need to angle it slightly to get this as high as we can while still not overlapping the sides and making sure it all sticks down. So that now goes over the top, and then that's the only one that we need to stick to the battery door. And the other side, this is where the wrist strap would have gone, and you can basically slide that in place like that and just make sure it's secured securely all the way in that hole, and then the battery door should close shut. All right, so that's the battery door shut with the various tabs and the little tab at the bottom, and then we just choose which one we want to use. I think this is the right one. So again, with this tab facing towards away from your hand, so it's like that. This end is going to be the top. And again, we're going to sandwich that as tight as we can underneath. So, and then just pull that onto the strap. And then the lower end, we lasso over the top, put that through the bottom part, and then we pull it shut, and then lasso that over the top like that. So that's the Quest 1 with the strap attached. That's pretty good. Again, we're going to have the battery door problem. Obviously, it's not going to come flying off, but because this is still attached to the bottom. So that's why I think the Quest 2 should have had that, because it does help the battery door from remaining shut. I'm not a fan of the wrist straps anyway. That's what I would have preferred. So their solution, again, like the Quest 1, is to take the top strap. So I'm just going to temporarily put that one there, is to take the top strap out over the sensor ring and then back on. And then this one can then strap over the top. And then that's their solution to not allowing the battery door to come off if you were to throw the controller. But you should be holding the controller anyway, and that's kind of what I do anyway. So that's why I've never really thrown the controller with a loose hand. So that's the right controller using the over the top method, but personally I don't think that's needed, and I like to have it still attached to the bottom of the controller. And that's that. This is very tight for me now, so you kind of want to have it fairly loose. You want it tight at the top though, because otherwise that buckle does interfere with your hand. So that just allows me to get my hand in there, and that's the Quest 1 controller with the right grips on. So I'm going to quickly do the left one. So that's the Quest 1 controller grips from BeswinVR. And I think they feel nice. And if they're anything like the Quest 2 controller grips, they perform just as well. And the material is going to be the same, so they're not going to be any more fragile or rippable. I think these look pretty good for the Quest 1 controller as well. All right, so that's the family of the Bestwin controller grips and knuckle straps for the Quest 2, as well as the Quest 1. And as I said, these are specifically made for the Anker Charging Dock and the battery door that you get with it, but you can, like me, just use them with the original battery door if you don't want a grip that's super bulky with silicone or rubber, and you want a nice knuckle strap with lots of nice padding as well. These straps retail for $23.99 or £24 in the UK. And it's good that they've actually listened to feedback and they've been a bit more wary about the quality of the material being used. And because they haven't ripped out on me with use, I'm quite comfortable in saying that these are a decent way to get the knuckle strap and battery door for the Anker station at least as a really good solution for having knuckle straps for those battery doors. But if you don't have the Anker charger and you do have the original battery door and you're looking for something without that much bulk to it, and you don't like the straps that come with the BeswinVR, for example, then these are really nice knuckle strap covers than quite a lot of all the other straps that are out there at the moment actually. The quality and the longevity of these straps will vary depending on how tight you have this strap attached to the controller and also how much pressure you put on them just generally overall. So someone with large hands, or if you do put a lot of strain or stress on this part, your just general longevity of these straps will vary, I think. But if you take good care of them, I think they should hopefully last a good time. And failing that, you've got this padded strap that you might be able to utilize on an alternative grip, for example. Unfortunately, you can't use the BeswinVR battery door grips with these straps. The strap is just a little bit too wide and you'd have to tamper with them to get them through this hole of that size. So unfortunately, you can't reuse the strap for the BeswinVR grips. But overall, if you've got a Quest 1 or a Quest 2 and you're looking for a no bulky and quite premium knuckle strap for your controllers, then I'll definitely have a look at these from BeswinVR. All right, I hope you found this video helpful. If it has, leave us a like down below and let me know in the comments if you have any questions about either of these knuckle strap solutions for your Quest 2 and Quest 1. You can check out my other grip and knuckle strap accessory reviews up in this top playlist up here. Hit that subscribe button down below to catch all my future content. And I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye.